or its management.
This is AM 620 WSNR, Jersey City.
Hello, everybody. It's welcome back to another Just Enough Heshy show. And as always, my co-host Rachel is late. Tonight we have a very special guest. We have Tehila Berman. She's exploring to run for a civil court judge. Is that correct? Say hello, Tehila.
Yes, hello.
You got to put the mic a little closer to you, but that's okay. And then we have, of course, our guest political analyst who shows up on our show from time to time to scream at me, Gary Tisler. Hello, Gary. How are you?
How you doing?
We're going to be talking to our future judge that I believe is going to be a great future judge, Tehila. But we'll ask her some questions and so on. And of course, we have me, Uncle Heshy, who has a lot to say and a lot to complain. And I was told and threatened not to talk negative tonight about nobody. So I will not talk negative. That's not true, Tehila. I really like talking bad about people.
I don't.
Okay.
I follow the rules of Lashon Hara.
Oh, wow. A nice, good Jewish girl judge. Even worse. Anyways, we're going to be starting my show with a few little commercials. And, of course, I have to say a joke and a quote of the day. I do this every day. And nobody laughs at my jokes anyways. And you're going to be a judge, so you're for sure not going to laugh. Anyways, here we go. We have, of course... we have Chamula Jewelers. They're located at 944 Kings Highway. They are a family-owned business for over 40 years, and you can bring in your old jewelry to redesign or buy some new ones, and they're very good prices. And Chamula Jewelers, they got the sparkle for you. You can go visit them again at 944 Kings Highway or call them for a special appointment at 718-336-1980, 718-336-1980. Again, 944 Kings Highway. Now, you're going to like this one, future Judge Berman. My daughter-in-law is Tehila Tishler, and she is ttstyles.com, 718-675-6842, 718-675-6842 for wigs, hair, makeup. She's just wonderful for weddings. She puts everything together. She's just great. And then, of course, we have technical difficulties at 1504 60th Street. They have all your technical needs, computers, 718-259-4593. My friend, Avi Fleischer, wonderful guy, 718-259-4593. Any problems with your computers, 1504 60th Street. And this wonderful guy, a barber. Now, I want you to hear this, Gary. This guy has a handicap ramp, gives cheap discounts to senior citizens. We have a special hospital. I know you're making fun of me on Parkville, but he takes these guys in wheelchairs, gives them special price. I see the way he loves and takes care of them. I love him. His name is Sam, 777 Barbershop, 718-484-2499, 718-484-2499. 777 Barbershop, located at 4225 18th Avenue. And then, of course, we have Green Line Building Solutions. That's me, Tehila. That's my company. We help a lot of people. We help you with plans, permits, filing, expediting, stop work orders, vacate orders. Plus, you can come in for any special appointments. We're located at 5318 16th Avenue, 718-871-0382, 718-871-0382, or just pop in on 16th Avenue, 54th Street. You know, we also handle a lot of local and community issues, and we help you get back in your homes. We help you file plans and permits. Again, located on the corner of 16th Avenue, 54th Street, 718-871-0382. You can call into the Just Enough Heshy Show at 718-303-9090. You can ask any questions of my guest, 718-303-9090, or text me at 718-288-7844. I might look at your text during the show. I might not and answer some questions or whatever. You can ask for the judge. Again, 718-288-7844. We're live on Facebook, Just Enough Heshy. We're live on YouTube, Just Enough Heshy. Tweet, Just Enough Heshy. Just everything, Just Enough Heshy. Anyways, we're here to start the show. I'm going to say a quick joke and quote, and then we're going to start our show. Is that okay, Gary? Okay, Ms. Byrne?
Sure.
Anyways, here's my quote. To understand the heart and mind of a person, don't look what he has already achieved, but what he aspires to do. And that quote was for you, because I know not only what you've done in the past, because you seem to be a wonderful person, you are going to be, and I spoke to you a little bit before the show, I believe the things you want to do and aspire to do and to do good for our community and not talk bad about people. You're just a wonderful person. And that's my quote. And that's my thing to the people. Don't look at the past. We've all done good. We've all done some bad. Look at what you want to do. How are you going to make world better? Anyways, that's my quote of the day. I hope you liked it. But here's my little joke. Are you ready? Gary,
Absolutely.
you're going to like this one. I am.
I haven't done anything bad though.
No, you haven't done it. You're one. See, you're one of the good ones. Okay. Can I talk bad about somebody else? No, not
No,
even my
no.
future opponent, Carmen Yeager.
No.
Okay, fine, Carmen. You are lucky that Ms. Berman is on my show. Anyways, I was a contractor once in the past, and I was building buildings. And when we have these big scaffolding, and when we take down the scaffolding, we cordon off the street so people don't get hurt. Because even how good and professional we are, things always drop, especially heavy tools or a board or something. And I was once watching one of my big sites, a 5-story building. We were taking down all the scaffolding and the sheds, and we were coming down, and I'm standing watching it, and a couple comes over, just crosses over my yellow line and looks in, and I tell them, hey, guys, this is a dangerous site. You see the yellow cordon off area. Please go away. You might get hurt. Finally, they say, okay, no problem, and they walk away. As I'm working around the site, I see them in the back of the building doing the same thing. I run over to them. I said, listen, you can get hurt. Please go away. Please. You're going to really get injured. Please go back off the line. They say, okay, fine, and they leave. And I'm working around the site. I'm watching everything going on. I have my hammer. I have something. I'm doing something on the site. Again, I see them again crossing over the line on the front of the building. And as I see from the top of the building, somebody screams a code word, and a big board drops just a couple of inches away from them. And I'm screaming. I'm running after them with my hammer, screaming, get away from me. You could die. You could die. And they turned white and they run away. I figured out later on they didn't run away for the board. They ran away because they thought I was going to hit them over the head with my hammer. Anyways, it was a funny joke when I told it at the job site. Anyways, that's my joke of the day. And anyways, everybody, you're listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show, 718-303-9090. And we're going to talk about some local politics. But Ms. Tehila Berman, I'm going to ask you a question. Number one, you are running for judge. I want to ask, do you like Trump or don't you like Trump? Not that our people.
No. I don't. No, I don't like Trump.
You don't like Trump?
No.
Wow, I like him so much. Oh, this is Rachel. She's here with her hat. Rachel, you're meeting Tehila Berman.
Hello.
She's going to be exploring to run for judge in 2020. Don't say hello here. Go sit down on the seat. And Gary, our political advisor, from time to time, who comes in and gives us things. And she doesn't like Trump. Rachel, she doesn't like Trump.
I like Trump to the extent that he has been good to Israel. I'm just afraid of him because he's so impulsive.
Hi, everyone. I just want to tell you, you remind me of like those guys who go out with girls and I like this about them. When they're good for me, I like them, but I don't like something else. It's a package deal.
She walks right in. She doesn't stop talking. But and she's now running for judge, and she recently lost. She's exploring running for judge. And my question to you is forget about Trump right now. Even though I believe that Trump is doing great for the economy, he's doing good for the neighborhoods, he's doing good for the country. I believe that again, I don't agree with all his policies. I don't agree with his immigration policy. But again, people tell me that we have no choice. But I agree, even though they say 50%, Gary, of the country, is this true? 50% want him impeached? Is that possible? I don't believe that poll. I think that's wrong.
That's one of the polls. But one of the anybody who knows how to do polling can get any answer they want out of the poll. So
I completely agree
I
with
believe
you.
that he has no chance of being impeached, and I don't believe 50% of this country wants him impeached. It just doesn't make sense.
Heshy, good
He's
evening.
a scary guy. He's very impulsive and he makes stupid
Scary
decisions.
for what reason?
But-
Because he's not making good decisions, or because you're not involved in those decisions?
One at a time.
Okay,
One at a
let's
time.
not go.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
I just wanted to point out one thing. I actually worked for about a week on vacation, and he works in California. And he helps assess damages and how to all that. And when they taught me how to do the math, they're like, listen, if you see $50 straight, no one will believe you. So they made it sound like 50.01. This is 28.76. And when someone says 50%, it's really true. Don't really believe them because it's too perfectly rounded of a number.
Got you. Anyways, we're going to go back to our future person who's running for, maybe exploring for judge. Judge, my
Future
question to
judge.
you-
You're calling her judge already? I'm going to call you councilman from now
I
on.
love you. That's why you're getting a raise this week, Rachel. You're getting a raise.
You know, I went to Tamula Jewelers.
Yeah,
You like this necklace?
I love the
They
necklace.
told me they had this sparkle for me, and they gave me 10% off.
You missed my commercial and you missed my joke of the day. I'm very angry. And Tehila
Angry? I thought you were very happy. If you hear a joke and say a joke, you need to be angry.
but Tehila didn't even laugh at it.
Well, you know what? You can say it again. I promise I'll laugh.
I'm not going to. My question to you is, Tehila, you want to be a judge. Can you tell us why? Why? What good are you going to do? You know that I've been to court over the years. I'm 55 years old, and I've been to court. I've seen people in court. I'm not even going to talk about the criminal part of it, but in regular court with small claims courts, some of these cases could take 2, 3, 4 years. Sometimes we come before a judge and it's adjourned because the lawyer wants to play the game, or if you don't show up on time, it gets defaulted. My question to you is cases that run for years, and it's $25,000 or less. Can't we speed the system up? I mean, what do you feel that you're going to accomplish as being a judge? I mean, I know you want to do good. Tell us what good are you going to do? How are you going to help us? How are you going to? What is your idea of being a judge?
To be a very fair and honest judge, and to render decisions in an efficient manner. So I would be I'd be very considerate to everybody who appears before me. I wouldn't make people wait. I wouldn't make people wait for their decisions because I know the law. I have very broad knowledge of the law, and I could quickly render decisions that are fair.
What is your experience in law? What is your experience?
I've been admitted to the bar for over 25 years. I started out my career as a pension lawyer. I did what's called ERISA work, which is the Employee Retirement Income Security Act.
You know, and this really interests me actually because I'm studying for the LSTATs right now, and I'd like to become a lawyer and eventually a judge. Ricky Fryer is one of my role models.
I was her campaign manager.
Really? Yeah. Oh well, thank you for meeting your new person who's running for campaign.
And my son, but didn't my son Avram Tischler help on that campaign?
Absolutely, she couldn't do one without.
She couldn't do one without my son Avram. Go ahead.
Actually, Judge Fryer actually watched when she prepared to be a paramedic. She observed my sister deliver, Dr. Jessica Jacob. She observed her deliver a baby.
Wow.
Mazel tov.
So my question is, I've been to some of these courts, and then you can sit there for hours, and then when it comes your turn, the judge is so busy, so they tell you, oh, you have to come back or go to another courtroom, and they set you another date, and because you're not, I mean, I don't even know why they made us come down if they were never going to take us. So you have too many cases.
I'm very.
Tila, where did you graduate from? Sorry for interrupting or adding.
I went to Shalamith Elementary School.
Religious
right?
school.
Central Yeshiva University High School.
Oh, you had Rabbi Tachtel as a teacher?
I did not. I went to Manhattan.
Okay.
Yeah, when it existed.
Okay.
Right, and then I went to NYU and Brooklyn Law School.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. You're religious? Are you a religious, Orthodox, conservative?
No, I'm Orthodox.
You are Orthodox.
I am Orthodox. I'm not a shadel lady, but I am Orthodox.
So you're Orthodox and married.
My wife doesn't
have
family?
Yes, I have 4 boys.
Beautiful. Wow.
Baruch Hashem.
How old is your oldest kid?
He is 19.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah.
What does he think about you? Is he proud of you? Do they stand up and praise you like they say in the Eshet Chaya?
Well, my kids all love me.
Thank God. I can see why.
Now, my children don't like that I'm running for politics office. They
don't want me to.
Because they feel that it's all right.
Because they saw what happened last time.
Right.
What happened last time?
We'll get it.
You have to tell us. You have to tell us. We're not talking negative, but you have to tell us.
Tell us what happened.
You have to tell us what happened. She was running again. She's now a sitting judge. She just got elected. Her competitor. What happened was simple. They changed her name from Caroline Pella to.
Where is she sitting judge? Someone just asked.
Right now, right here in this in Ridgewood, Kensington. No. She just got elected yesterday.
Mazel tov.
No, but this judge is not a Jewish judge. Her name is Caroline Pella, and she changed her name to Caroline what? Cohen. She changed her name to be a Jewish name so she could get elected.
Let's not get into
Okay,
this is very
as
good.
I said, I follow the rules of
Right.
Lashon Hara,
Right.
and I do not speak
It's
negatively.
It's in the newspapers, by the way.
I know.
But does that really apply? Because I think the Chavetz Chaim said if it's to help.
Actually,
someone,
the rule is that you're not allowed to say Lashon Hara be'amecha. So it actually
that's 100%. First of all, number one. Number two, Heshy's all about informing the population
and honest and honorable.
Right. So
honest.
I think
I'll come back and we'll talk about
But
it.
Judge, so you're now a judge. You have 2 people in front of you, and you know that we're going to argue. Besides argue our case, we're going to talk bad about the other one.
Right.
How are you going to stop us?
Oh no, I'm
That's Lashon Hara, by the
no,
way,
that's
too.
not Lashon Hara because
Why?
that's
No,
trying
because
to
you-
resolve. That's what you're in court for, to resolve.
Okay, I
the
vote
difference.
for you. That's a very good answer. I like that. Exactly right. You need to be able to speak. If someone rapes you, you need to be able to say he raped you. You can't say I
Yeah.
can't say that.
And I speak the truth. I always speak the truth. I have never,
So are you going to, like, a lot of this
and I
political?
could see what's truthful.
But when I'm sitting in a lot of these small claims courts, I see 2, 3, 4 times. Are you going to stop that in your courtroom?
Yes,
Is there an inspector general that the judges have to answer to?
I'm sorry.
Is there an
There an
inspector
inspector
general
general?
that
Because my experience at Supreme Court is that there isn't.
Oh, welcome, Samuel. You're calling in from
Oh,
Canada.
Sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. Thank you for allowing me to call you in from Canada.
Mhm.
I just have a question because I myself had I still have a tremendous experience with Supreme Court of New York. It's actually a matrimonial matter. And from what I understand, the judge decides she doesn't want to come down from her high tower. She doesn't have to join. It's her choice. And there's nobody who can tell her that she has to come down. If she decides, for whatever reason, that she's closing shop early or she's opening shop late, am I accurate by saying that?
what he's saying is that, like I told you,
All
you
right,
come,
that's Supreme Court.
but like any court, even small claims, I
Right.
sit there for a
Right,
few hours and then they say, oh, you have to come back again. Or you have to go there, and it's just not right.
right. Well, a big thing that I could offer is that I'm extremely considerate. I care so much about people. I don't want them to wait.
So you
I don't.
wanna
I
do
like
this?
I like fairness. I'm not beholden to anybody. I had a self-funded campaign
Wow.
last time because specifically because I do not want to be beholden to one person. So I took not a penny in my previous
Wow.
campaign.
Wow, that's it.
Congratulations.
My question to you
We'll
is
have to come back.
you ran as a Democrat. Am I
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Now, is there a reason? Because what I'm told is if you're not a Democrat, you can't win at all in our
I'll answer that. We
Go ahead.
live in a one-party city now. There is no Republican left in New York City.
But why? We had a mayor that was a Republican. We had
That's-
a Republican governor for a couple of times.
Well,
That was a while ago. It's changed a tremendous amount. The population of the city is changing. The gentrification is changing the
The
vote.
demographics are changing.
It's a tremendous change in the city, and there is really like 1 or 2 out of like 200 elected positions. There's like 1 or 2 on Staten Island, and there's 1 in Queens, and that's it.
But I heard there's a lot out in not our 5 boroughs, but there's a lot of judges and elected officials, Republicans, in other
Even New York State
in like
it's
Woodmere,
changing.
Long Island.
No, Long Island is becoming much more Democratic too now.
Did you hear about the political group called Nexodus? It's started by a young girl named Elizabeth Pipko. She worked on the campaign for Trump, actually, and then she started something, play on words of Exodus, Nexodus, that we're the next generation, the next Exodus, and Jewish people should leave the Democratic Party. She said if our vote doesn't mean anything to them, then they shouldn't have our vote.
Well, if you leave the Democratic Party in New York City or New York State, you're giving up your ability to vote for Congress. You're giving up your ability to vote for mayor. You're giving up your ability to vote for city council. Unfortunately,
What makes you so confident to say that? Where will they get the funding from if the Jews give up their position to back the party? I mean, we all know that most of their money they're getting is from their Jewish votes.
no, there's not. The Jewish votes are meaningless at this point. The votes now are coming from the uppy area. I mean, when I was a kid, the Jewish votes, the Ashkenazi votes, not the
The
Orthodox.
financial backup. Where's
Well,
the financial backing coming from?
let me tell you, there's a guy named George Soros. That's where the financial backing is coming from, and other people in that ilk. This past election yesterday,
Yeah.
3,000 votes came out of Borough Park. If you go to Park Slope, 20,000 votes came out. If you go to Brooklyn Heights, 20,000 votes came out. If you go to Prospect Heights, where I'm living now, 20,000 votes.
There was no major, you know what? There was no major elected people running in our neighborhood, and nobody promising.
There were
money.
no major people running
But
in
my
their
question
neighborhood
to
either.
you is, Gary, yesterday the councilman Deutsch, Councilman Felder, Simcha Felder, whatever, Councilman Yeager, they all get on with the JCC and they say there's 5, I forgot what it was called, 5 proposals or whatever,
yeah.
whatever. There's 5 proposals.
amendments. To the charter.
What they say, there's 5, here it is. There's 5 amendments, 5 questions, proposals, election of proposals, and they're telling you, they don't even explain it. They just say vote no. I don't understand that. What do you mean vote no? I mean, why aren't they explaining it? Is this the way they run our city council? They just get up there. I mean, I'm telling you now, we met, all three of us met Chaim Deutsch tonight, and I'm a friend of his for many years. And I'm just
a good guy.
He's a very good guy. You know, he's intelligent, he's smart, and I like what he has to say. Again, they all went and voted no against Rikers, even though he had no chance. And you guys disagree.
Wait. This thing passed with 80% of the vote.
Right. Even though Rikers is being closed.
No. The proposals, all five of them won with 80% of the vote.
Correct.
So when they said no, they didn't have much of an
But my point is why did they say no? They knew that they would lose, just like they knew they'd lose Rikers. Yet Corey, the head of the council, fighting for this proposal. There was no way anybody was going to go against the head of the city council. They knew that the Rikers was going to close, no matter what. And still,
Rikers wasn't on the
Rikers wasn't on this ballot, but it was on a city council ballot like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with this.
My point is when you vote no and you know that it's going to pass anyways, isn't that foolish? Why would you tell us to vote no if you have no chance for
that
it?
Is not Rikers, they were telling you.
I know that, but these 5 proposals, nobody even knows what these 5 proposals were.
Well, I would imagine that they would tell you to vote.
They were in the papers. They were on the. I got a mailing.
Yeah, I got a mailing too. They didn't explain it well. You can't explain a 50-page proposal in one-line paragraph.
Well, the people in Park Slope got it because they came out to vote.
Okay, because again, I'm
Heshy.
so proud of them. I'm happy. You see, the people in Park Slope, they're more, like you said, gentrified, smarter, younger, and again,
educated.
Those are the kind of people.
When I was a kid, I used to look at Jewish communities who controlled the vote in Brooklyn. They used to come out, whether it was Brighton Beach, whether it was Sheepshead Bay, whatever the area of Brooklyn was, they would come out in the thousands. These were Holocaust survivors who knew the importance of the vote.
Correct.
And
like my parents. Like my parents.
And now I see the Jewish community not voting. Even the Russian community is not voting.
No, they don't vote for these proposals, but when it comes time for a candidate, they do come out.
No, they don't come out for the candidates now. I'm telling you, a lot of people in these communities, especially the Russian and the Jewish community, are registering blank or Republican.
We're going to have to take a phone call. Let's take a phone call. Line 4. Hello, you're on the air with Heshy, Rachel, Gary, and our exploratory future judge. Hello, Dave?
Yes. How are you, my friend?
How are you? What's up?
Very well, thanks. It's a pleasure to speak to you, and I just want to say good evening to all the distinguished guests. I have a question, a politics question here. As you know, Heshy, I'm a Black American Muslim, and I'm frustrated because so many of my Black brothers and sisters, even though we're seeing some inroads now, but so many of us continue to vote for the Democrat Party, and they are basically the party of victimology, and of the party of anger and hostility and dependency. And I'm wondering, why is it so many of my Jewish brothers and sisters continue to vote Democratic when today the party's been taken over by ultra-left wingers and anti-Semites?
I agree with Dave. First of all, I've been watching a lot of Fox News lately, and I do see a lot of African Americans are switching over to the Republican side, but not just because they want to be Republicans, but they like the idea. But you're right. Sometimes we're stuck in a rut. I mean, I want to ask this question to our guest, Taylor Berman. You were part of one of your voting districts was East Flatbush, if I'm correct, or Caribbean neighborhood.
Yes.
Now, a lot of them voted for your opponent. Did they even think about you? Because, I mean, what was their idea? I mean, they just went to the polls blindly.
I ran a campaign 2 years ago in that same neighborhood where the Caribbean community voted for a Jewish candidate, a Jewish Russian candidate. So, I mean, the Caribbeans have supported assembly people who are Jewish and everything like that. So, I mean, I don't see any problem with that. But the problem the voter doesn't understand is...
Look, he's telling you that the demographic, the Black voter, the African American is not changing the mentality of they're just stuck in the Democratic way no matter what. They're not even thinking about a Republican.
Well, we live in New York, and you got to understand that.
So this issue is not is an issue or not an issue?
In New York, you have to vote Democrat if you want to stay. If you want to stay if you want to say who the mayor is, if you want to say who the council person is, or what you want to say. The last time a judge, Republican judge, won in Brooklyn was probably 100 years ago.
Really?
So you got to have it like a two-step thing, and the Jewish community, and now this gentleman on the phone, don't understand that in order to play in New York, you have to register as a Democrat.
So you're talking. You can always make a difference if you're black or Muslim or Jew or Chinese. If you're not a Democrat, you're dead meat.
You can always vote Republican in November for whoever you want. It's in the local primaries where every local seat gets picked in New York. And if you don't vote Democrat, if you don't register Democrat, you're out of the game.
Wow.
Well, that's very important piece of
Did you hear that, Dave? Did you hear that? That's foolish, but that's the way it is. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Kind of like going undercover, right?
Let me just thank Dave. Dave, you like our show still?
Oh, absolutely.
How come nobody laughs at my joke, Dave? Did you laugh at least today?
I did.
I love you. You're delicious. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Call again.
Okay, I certainly will.
Heshy, can I just answer that question?
I want to ask a question to the judge. Do you agree that everybody has to run Democrat?
Yes.
So if you had the opportunity, and I'm not going to put you on the spot, but isn't most of your ideas, especially the way you were talking, more Republican, right wing than instead of the Democrat?
I'm not right wing.
No.
I'm not right wing at all.
First of all,
there's nothing right wing about it.
I want to ask her. So
let me.
Are you what is your? Are you really a Democrat, or do you just have no choice being a Democrat?
I'm a Democrat.
That's it, plain and simple.
Yeah, I'm a Democrat.
She wants to explore
But
running for
politics
judge.
has nothing to do with being a judge.
Right.
You know what?
But why then are they forcing you to run? Then why are judges being chosen by the Democratic Party?
Because we live in a one-party state, a one-party city. It's the Republican Party has died.
I got you. So politics and councilman, mayor, I got all that. Why does a judge have to run on a party? Why can't judges just be
Because otherwise a judge can't win.
It's the law.
Yeah.
They should have a non-party
judge selection that everybody goes to the polls, whether you're Democrat or Republican.
I don't think
go.
I don't think the Democratic bosses are going to go for that.
So nobody's ever going to change. Who can change that system? May I ask you if we wanted to? Could the city council say
no? That's the state.
That's the state.
Albany.
Only Albany. Is that your senator and your assemblyman? I assume.
And the governor.
And the governor. So impossible. Never going to change.
He is going to reform the courts and narrow them down in the next few years. He's going to make it less. It's a whole thing. They're going to have a reform, but it's not going to really change any of the elections.
Now, I don't want to ask how old you are.
It's okay. I'm proud of my age. I'm 49.
49. So now you're going to be elected, whatever. If you do or you run, you're going to be elected to a 10-year term. You're 60 years.
I'm just exploring it.
I got you. But just let's say you do agree to run for office. Mm-hmm. Now you're going to be running for 10 years as a judge. Mm-hmm. Don't you want to be like a Supreme Court judge, a federal court judge? I'm not.
Sure, everybody wants to be a Supreme Court judge.
Now, so Supreme
Court. Do you know
how
federal court judges are made?
How?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
We're asking you back. We don't know. I know that they get chosen only by the Senate, right? Is that the way?
No, the U.S. Senate has to okay them, but usually the senator in the state picks.
Which we only have 2 of them.
Yes, picks somebody, and then it goes in front of the U.S. Senate, but the president has to agree to it, and he signs it into. Each person is okay.
That's how Supreme Court and again
Supreme Court, not Supreme Court, federal court,
and we have also a local state Supreme Court, correct?
Yes.
How do you get chosen for that?
There's a convention every year after the election.
After the election,
right? There's delegates
like this election right now.
There's delegates picked in each assembly district, and then the
district leaders.
They run 5 or 6 people in each district.
Okay.
Usually very loyal to the party. And then they go up there and they meet one time, and then they pick Supreme Court judges who the list is already prepared for
And
them.
how long
so
does a Supreme Court judge get to stay on the bench for?
But how long does the Supreme Court judge get to stay on the bench?
14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
So once they're in, they're in.
So my question to you, don't you think that's long term for a judge to be in any position? That's why some cases can go 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I
I'll
mean,
tell you a
judges
lot about
don't
that.
care.
It's a debate, but that's the law.
I understand that, but it should be like shouldn't the judge only be 4 years? Like
No, I actually think it's very good that they're in tenure for such a long time, because how many times you have, and I was going to bring that out in the housing court in the summer, judge goes on vacation, suddenly you're in another judge's office and another judge's office, the judges, when people know this person's here to stay, and the judge himself knows that the person might come back and appeal and he needs to answer it, I think it's excellent.
But
I think
that's
it's
the
so much
problem.
better.
Like you heard,
Do you think parents should be parents for 5 years or 10 years
No,
or 20 or forever?
Again,
But
that's
who's
not
his
the
boss?
point.
Who's the judge's boss? Who's the judge have to answer to?
But you heard what Tahila said.
What did she
That
say?
she's going to make things move along quicker. She's not going to make people suffer. She's not going to make people come back 7 or 8 times. Sometimes a judge who sits there for 10, 12 years says, no problem. I'll have a case run. I actually have a case running in Supreme Court for 7 years.
What's your case?
My case was that somebody actually owed me some money, and I sued them. It was quite a big project. And 7 years later, my judge now had to retire. It was whatever, one of those judges. Now I'm stuck with a new judge.
So you see, you're
and my
saying it's better if they're
no,
longer.
And my competitor was able to stall it and play the game. If a judge only knows she has 3 or 4 or 5 years,
They don't
she's
care.
gonna- sure,
I
you're
would say
gonna
if
make
I'm
it-
out, I don't care what
we
happens.
never. But the point is, we never
That's
got to
absolutely
fruition.
right.
You see,
We never got
see,
the
like
finish
in
line.
In Texas, they have judges for 2 years.
Oh,
So they have to go in front of the money people every 2 years to get elected.
Very good.
So they're controlled much more than a 14-year judge. So
Absolutely.
a quick-
shouldn't
a
get
quick
but
turn.
you know, a 14-year judge has to play the game because she or he wants, during her 10 or 12-year term, to get enough, I forgot what it's called, writings or work, so she can get promoted or he can get promoted to the Supreme Court of the federal
Yes
court.
and no. You know,
Because,
Heshy?
what happens
No.
is a judge has to. What I was
Ultimately,
told
they have
is,
the right
one minute. A judge, I was told, has to retire at the age of 65. If
No,
That's what I was-
70.
70, but to stay on longer, which a lot of the judges
They'd be
want to,
certified.
they have to be chosen to the federal level.
No,
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 no.
No.
They have to be
Heshy,
certified.
I got a judge removed from the bench. You know that?
Let me answer the question before we go.
that answer the question.
You can be certified if you're 70 years old and you're a Supreme Court judge, not a civil court judge. If you're a Supreme Court judge, you can be certified for 2-year terms until you get
Bless,
God bless you. Wow.
until you get to be 76,
And then,
and then you have to retire.
but I saw
And then
judges that are older
okay.
than 76.
What?
I know there were judges older than 76.
You can do
I heard federal court judges can go once they're
yes,
chosen.
federal court is
They're forever. Their life. That's where
their
they.
life.
But their federal court judges are chosen
It's-
from where?
it-
From the state and Supreme Court.
No,
level.
no. There's nothing to do with the state and the Supreme Court. Federal judges are appointed by the president.
I
and
got
the Senate.
you. But again, where are they chosen from? They're chosen from our local pact. No.
They can be law school deans. They can be anything. They don't have to be.
Actually, may I
judges.
interject one moment?
We can't really hear you when you're talking from there. That's what I was told.
So
I could hear very well.
I know we can all hear him.
The lines from
Except-
Canada are not that
Right. But my question is, so again, so that's your answer on the judge. I still believe that, like any position, like a councilman, even police chief, it should be a term that we can constantly decide if we want to reelect. Just like the mayor, I'm so happy that the mayor is not running again. That is not Lashon Hara, by the way. He is the worst mayor on this planet.
Well,
And I'm
this is
so
my
happy
answer,
with-
Heshy, that I
yeah.
wanted to tell you before. The mayor, they said, took himself off of the race because he got 0 votes. Well, I think that's why they tell you vote no, even if they have no chance. So it's not that the other side wins with a landslide.
like his vision 0.
I think the mayor got left the presidency race because the Federal Election Commission was investigating him playing with the PACs again.
Wow.
He had the power in New York to shut down the investigations, but in Washington, the Federal Election Commission was looking at like $50,000 that came from a New York PAC that was put into his campaign that was not okay with the federal election law, and it's still being investigated.
But this mayor has gotten away with it many times, even when he was running for office the first time he got money and all that.
But was it the money he gave his wife?
It's not the point. The point is, my thing is that it's only, it should never be a third term. Like city council, they have no right to run for a third term.
No, there's no right.
And just like a judge, I believe a judge should run for 4-year terms. She or he will move things along quicker, and then she should have the opportunity to go to the next level, not to be picked out of the blue, like you're saying, a judge. The new judges on the higher level in the Supreme Court, in the criminal
The
courts.
system doesn't work that way. So
I know.
you can
I'm sorry. I know.
You can go to Disneyland.
See, I
and believe what
understand
you
that
want.
judges had to have lifetime terms or long terms back in the 1800s, back in the early 20th century, because there wasn't a lot of educated places, and to travel from one place to the next was hard. But today, with the world being so short, with the internet, easy to travel, it's not hard to just re-elect somebody 4 years and put a federal court judge somewhere in the middle of nowhere land. Whatever, that's my opinion.
Well, then the work wouldn't get done because judges would be busy running for re-election.
So my question to
I
you,
agree with that,
But then if you're saying that, Taylor, then you're talking
Presidents run
city,
for re-election,
you're
they just
talking
control the
president,
law.
like you heard, presidents are running for re-election, councilmen are running for re-election a year before, district leaders who run every
should
2
But
years.
judges have to do work. That's how work, they
So
have
the
to.
presidents. And
So
the
the president, I have a question for you. I get run
Apples
for
and
election. I have approximately 100 phone calls a day. I have thousands of people that come to me, and I have constant life that runs too, from donations to community to
Yeah,
charity.
but a judge is not supposed to be a political job. That's why it makes no sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
It's
a
not supposed to
judge
be political at all.
doing a
It's
again.
supposed to be divorced from politics.
No, but you see, in my office, I have,
So why isn't there an inspector general?
but I have
One
11
second, Tahila,
employees.
let's bring up anyway. If a judge is not doing a good job, there is a way to remove them from the bench. So it's not like a
Right.
president, okay, he needs to be impeached, but does the judge need to be impeached, or there's another judge that looks over, right?
There's always a
I did that. I had
judge.
exactly. I had a case in a small claims court, and I didn't. They actually swore me in, had the other side cross-examine me, and then they didn't cross-examine them. The judge came to a judgment,
Right.
and said that I was the one who came to an agreement. I wrote a letter to the supervising judge.
Wait. She said that you came to an agreement when you
She
did
wrote that we came to an agreement, but she told me how much I need to agree to.
Okay.
That's not an agreement. That's a judgment. And if there's a judgment, and if I'm sworn in, they need to be sworn in. I need to be given the opportunity to cross-examine them.
Well, whatever you're
So,
saying, Rachel,
What
doesn't
happened
count.
is it did
judges
count.
can't
It
act as witnesses.
absolutely counted. They took her off the bench, and they put in a new judge. And I
Yeah.
reopened my case.
But you know what? When it comes to administrative law, and this is what I want to ask another thing, you guys changed the laws without telling us. Like, I know a lot of the judges that I appear before, ECB courts, local administrative judges, they could just their system is to change the rules as they go along, and we can't do anything about it. And they go. I mean, I'm not
That has
knocking you,
nothing to
Judge,
do. That has nothing to do with civil court.
Civil court
Right.
judges are supposed to follow the law.
but can't
That's
we? Right, every judge, even administrative court judges.
That's not a state. Administrative judges are much different than civil court judges.
Really,
Yes,
don't they get chosen? Don't administrative judges go up also as well? Don't they?
up to where?
I don't know. Don't they get
To
selected or
heaven.
promoted?
Eventually, we all go to heaven.
Not administrative court judges. That I promise.
I
you.
thought Jews don't go that way.
Don't they go up the food chain?
Tahila, I have one more question for you, and I'm going to let them make you crazy. When we come before you, it is going to be a lot of problems, not just between two people for 25,000 or suing each other. There's a lot of people that have problems with big companies like credit card companies, mortgage, whatever. Other people that they can't fight the big system. They can't fight those big guys, and they know how to play the game. Are you going to be more understanding? Because I know that we have a judge, Noach Der, who's very understanding, moves things along nicely.
Do you think he's understanding?
I like Noach Der, happens to me.
I met him in the Sheraton, actually, same place I met you.
You're gonna be like a civil court judge when a young person or a regular guy like me goes up against a big company. I mean, are we gonna have a fair shot at it? Or I mean, these guys come with paperwork, and we don't know what we're doing. Sometimes we just lose the case because we don't know the codes or the laws of a regular person, right?
Heshy, I just got a text. I want to know what type of judge Tahila would like to be.
She's gonna tell you. She did say.
I'm not. I haven't decided whether I'm running for judge. I'm just exploring the possibility of running for civil court judge.
Again, she wants you to explain, even though she did
Did
explain.
anyone ever tell you not to be so judgmental?
That wasn't fun.
Oh, what was
It's
no,
very
no, it's
funny.
fine. I don't mind criticism. So
I
what-
like being judged.
Yes.
I know. I think
So
I must have been a judge in a past life.
So what is it that you what is it that I was judgmental?
Oh no,
about?
not at all. It was just a joke. Like, you know, can you
Okay.
tell a judge not to be judgmental?
okay. Well, I could say that.
But you're so nice. You see, I like you already. You right away actually wanted to hear if I actually had a complaint. No complaints. I think you're awesome. And if
Thank
you need
you.
someone to vote for you, I'm going to come out and
Thank
vote.
you. Thank you.
Me too. I 100%. But I like her. I mean,
Me too.
I have another question for you.
Yes.
So you're now going to be an Orthodox judge.
Right.
There are, again, we have a problem. I mean, you're going to have a lot of agreements or contracts that deal with stuff that. What happens if somebody says, "I want to go to Besdin"? You know what
Right.
Besdin is.
Yes.
And according to a lot of the religious people, I'm not talking to the regular clients that come, a guy's going to come before you. Hey, he was supposed to take me to Besdin, judge. I wasn't supposed to come to you first. What are you going to say about that? Two Jewish people come to you and say, listen, I don't
I've
believe
never heard that before.
No,
I-
the
I
law
think
is
that-
once it's in the court, it's in the court. It's too late.
Yeah, that
That's
hasn't-
it. The
that
court
never happened.
overrules the ability to go to Beis Din.
I
I'll
understand.
tell you what
I
the Supreme
understand
Court judge
that.
told me. She told me and she told the other person. What's between you and your rabbi is between you and your rabbi. My job is to enforce the New York state law.
100%.
And I
Okay,
agree
so
with
now
that.
let me change the story around. I now went to rabbinical court,
Right.
not a legal or binding court, and now I come to and I sue I sue this other guy. I lost in the rabbinical court,
Right.
and I say, Judge, hey, I'm suing this guy. He owes me $10,000.
They
The
usually have
rabbinical court ruled against me, but they have no real standing. What
Right.
do you say about that?
I don't know what the status of the if they came to an agreement that their contract would be mediated,
They make them sign an
before
arbitration,
Beis Din,
arbitration.
an arbitration, then that agreement is
It
binding.
doesn't have to be some kind of a licensed arbitrator, not just some rabbi out of the blue. I mean, anybody, I make agreements all the time, legal agreements with a lawyer. We sit down, we make a lawyer agreement. At the end, we end up fighting and we come before the judge. Shouldn't it be, hey, this is what the agreement says, too bad, you can't make changes, you can't go before a judge, that's it, too bad?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
So my question is just like when they went to the rabbi, they go to this rabbi. He has to be somewhat experienced, somewhat licensed. You can't just go to a rabbi and say, "Hey, here's an agreement that's made." Like I go to a
A licensed arbitrator.
so
right.
so these rabbis have to be licensed.
Oh, I don't know the rules.
They
of
should
Beis Din. I
have to
really
be
don't.
licensed 100%.
If two people make an agreement, that's it.
But if two people make an agreement, they don't agree. That's why we come before the judge.
No,
That's why we're suing one
saying
another.
it is an arbitration.
So an arbitration is after the agreement and after
Arbitration
the fight.
is binding usually, but I want to talk about this. There are rabbis that kind of like use all type of antics and tactics.
We're not.
Against,
She's
against
not an expert.
I'm not a guru on Beis Din. I really
Beis
don't.
Din.
I've never actually
no. So
been
my
before Beis
question
Din.
is,
Yeah.
let's say they say we came to some sort of arbitrary agreement, right? And then the woman comes and says, "No, I was forced," or the man says, "Someone came and beat
But then
me
it's
up."
about contract law, and it's a matter of it's an issue of law as to
Well, I actually have something very interesting.
contracts.
Someone knew that I was going to be speaking tonight, and they wrote to me and asked me to bring this up. If you don't mind, it's unbelievable. And him and his wife decided to get divorced. She went and spoke to someone named Shalom Ber Shuchat, who was under house arrest.
She doesn't do divorce court.
No, but it's okay. I want to.
Okay, I'm curious to hear
Go
the
ahead.
story.
Thank you. I'm telling you, I'm going to get 20 votes for you. I have
20?
10
Only
fingers
20?
and 10 feet. Yeah, like just from one
We
person.
need a couple of thousand.
If I
votes.
run for judge.
100,000. If every person could do 10 or 20. Anyway, so they sent people to beat up the guy to give the get, but he always had intention to give the get.
Uh-huh.
And then they never knew, she didn't know what to do. So what she went to the police station,
Uh-huh.
lied, and said that she had a disagreement with him when he was living in England because they were separated. She was in Israel. She,
Wait a second. She's
So-
trying to get a get.
she claimed she was trying to get a get. He said,
Right.
"I want to give you a get, but I'd like to speak to you beforehand." Right.
Right.
And then she went down to the police station, lied, and said she had a disagreement with her husband, who she hadn't seen or spoken to
Right.
for 2 months, but
Right.
they had actually driven one past the other, right? So he asked her to roll down her window. She took out her phones, made believe that, as if he was cutting her off or something. made a police report on him.
A false police report.
A false police report. Now, what happened is he said, you know what, I want to get rid of this woman. I want to give her the get as soon as possible. But the condition was that she would actually go into the police station and admit that she lied.
Okay.
She said yes. She signed an affidavit saying that she lied, exaggerated, didn't say the exact accurate truth. And she even wrote she wanted leverage for any future arguments.
And it's a crazy story.
It's a crazy story. And she agreed to go to the police station. But now they're trying to tell him that he should be ballsy and be a man. And he should go and give himself over. He didn't do the crime. Why should he do the time? Shouldn't she have to go in? What would happen to her if she went in and actually told the police that she lied? I think that's what she's scared of. What do you think would happen?
Well, she would be prosecuted.
Okay.
For lying to the police.
It's up to the DA. Yeah.
It's up to the DA. So the DA could actually let her off the case.
Most likely not.
Most likely not.
Why wouldn't the DA let her off?
Because that's the way it works. The same way with.
So what do you do then if she? What could the husband do?
For example, let me explain to you something. What I understood is if a husband and wife have a fight, and a husband hits the wife or does something abusive to the wife, and he's arrested, and she wants to drop the charges, she can never drop the charges. Is that correct?
I know a little bit about this. It's a lot harder to drop the charges.
It's a lot harder to drop
because what happens is in the law and in the courts, a lot of times the husband who hits his wife or his girlfriend or something like that, the woman comes in and wants to settle the case, and they made it much harder now to settle the case.
Correct. So that's what I understand. You know what? I just had a case recently that I had a tenant, and I went to landlord-tenant court, and I stood before the judge, and the judge dismissed my case because I had a violation on the house. I said, but this has nothing to do with this case.
Right.
It had something to do, and he wrote a code and says, no, too bad, I'm not evicted. And I already won the case, default and everything. Too bad, I'm not evicted because you have a violation. Did he or she say that it was that you constructively evicted the tenant? No. Just that since the house has a violation, we're not evicting it. You have to clear up all the violations on the property. We said to the judge, this has nothing to do with this section of the house. No, too bad. We went to appeal it and override it or request a motion. The second judge didn't want to override the first judge. So then we had to go back to court and file.
You went to the appellate term?
We did not go to the appellate term. We did a motion because we had.
You made a motion to re-argue?
To re-argue. So what happened was the judge.
But then if you do a motion to re-argue, you have to present new facts.
Correct. And our new fact is that we did clear up the violation, but he says, no, at the time you have to go and redo the whole case again. That's what we were told to do. So we waited for her lease to expire, even though she didn't pay, and we finally got her evicted based on a holdover, whatever, another thing, that she doesn't have a lease. 4 years later, we get sued. 4 years later. That we had mold, even though we knew that she was going to do that. We did all the testing of mold. Again, we're being dragged back to court for a small under $25,000 3 different times. Postponed. The lawyer was busy. We can't do it. The court case all day. It just got to us. So one of the lawyers came over to us. You don't want to keep coming back. But we said, we have the reports. There was no mold. We were legitimate. She's just suing just for to punish us. And your lawyers get 1/3 of the case. Lawyer says, if you give us $5,000, goes away. I said, we're not guilty. So at the end of the day, we decided it was just so many times that we went to court, we gave the $5,000. And I'm saying because if we would have been able to have been heard in front of the judge the first time, we would have presented licensed proof and of everything.
Right. That's why you need a judge who actually looks at the evidence and is very thoroughly inspects
it. The judges had to answer, and there was an inspector general that they had to answer for why
they do have a head judge, and they do have head judges, right?
Do they review cases? Our cases every so often pulled, like in any other company or any other. They
would
go
to appellate term.
No, are they reviewed to know?
Hold on, we got a caller. We got to take the caller.
Go ahead.
Hello, you're on the phone. You're on the radio with Uncle Heshy, Rachel, Gary, Shmuley, and Taylor Berman, who's exploring to become a judge.
Yes. Good evening, Big H. This is Eddie from Dyker Heights.
Hello, Eddie.
Hi, Eddie.
You didn't vote, Eddie. You're in my neighborhood of my future judge. You didn't vote for her, but go ahead. How are you, Eddie?
Okay. Listen, you were talking earlier about a one-party town, except with the possible exception of Staten Island. But look at the situation you got into, and it's probably going to happen again in the 70s with Abe Beam, and in the 80s with Dinkins, which of necessity after Giuliani lost the first election in 88, he won in 92. And it looks like the only thing you have ahead of you is very, very bad times before enough people realize how foolish they are.
Ooh, you sound like a prophet.
He's absolutely right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Eddie.
No, that's just one of,
What's the question?
I don't have a question.
He's just telling us, and he's right. Eddie's one of our all-time guys that he knows that like he agreed with you. This is a one-party town, and there's nothing we could do about it.
Well, I mean,
until it gets tough.
I was also told to run for Republican as councilman. This way, I can get to the final election. Because running in a like you did in a primary, once you lose, you're dead. And if I ran as a Republican, I guarantee to win and get to the final election. But again, everybody who comes to the polls closes their eyes as a Democrat, Abby, and just clicks the ballot Democrat, and they don't really care who's running or what your opinions are.
On the presidential elections, there's something interesting here, though. On the presidential election, the last one at least, the Borough Park community and the Russian community in Brighton, and a little bit in Bay Ridge, and probably your area, voted for Trump.
Yes, more of the conservative orthodox, because I happen to know I was a teacher, and I happen to know another fellow teacher retired same time, and he lives around East 18th Street, around Avenue N, and he and I have a very different political viewpoint, but he was complaining about his neighbors were all pro-Trump, and he didn't give them to reasons, but he keeps reading the New York.
Let me say what I'm trying to say now. If you look at the leadership of whatever's left of the Republican Party in Brooklyn, there are no Russians on it, or basically, no leadership Russians, and no Orthodox Jews leadership.
No.
So it's very. Let me say what I think it is. It's very dysfunctional right now.
Yes, I'm afraid.
And if you look at the population of the city, it's changed a lot since they elected Giuliani. The population is just totally different now.
Which would mean things are going to have to get even worse before they realize their stupidity.
Well, there's got to be a reason that a lot of people are moving to Miami.
Eddie, you know what?
I'm not moving to Miami, even though I want to move. But go ahead. Yeah, Rachel.
Following your lead, Heshy likes to make people laugh. I hope you're going to laugh at what I'm going to say now. I think it'll make you feel good and everyone else sitting here in the studio. Actually, Mayor Dinkins came to visit the Lubavitcher Rebbe when he was giving out dollars in 770. It was very simple. Every single person that came in, 300 people, walked in, met the Rebbe, and walked out. You followed the line. Dinkins couldn't find his way out. The Lubavitcher Rebbe turned to him and said, if the mayor of New York can't find the way out, we're in big trouble.
Oh, gosh. Eddie, thank you for your call. I'll talk to you later, my friend.
Okay, bye.
Anyways, my question, one more thing, guys. We're coming to the end of the show. We're coming to the end of the show, and I want to ask Hila, how are you going to get your word out? Gary, how is she going to get her word out? Why should we vote if she decides to run? Why should we vote for her? I mean, what is she different than the rest? What is she offering to be a judge, a community to be more fair? How do we know? What's her platform? Tell us.
More fair.
She would make a very good judge, and she is familiar with the values and the customs and the traditions of the Jewish community. And that's very important in a courtroom. You need somebody that understands the community, and there isn't enough those kind of judges in Brooklyn right now.
So she's going to be a Brooklyn judge. Is it going to be for all Brooklyn cases or only cases in our district? How does that work?
No, it's in fact the first 2 years or the first year they most of the civil court judges sit in criminal court because nobody wants that position.
Wow.
So all the rookies
Being that she's a female, will she be biased to females or male?
No.
How do we know that?
Because I am not I'm fair.
Would you believe in
Men and women are equal.
I have a question for you. You, like you told me, you do landlord tenant court. You have an older 85-year-old woman from the poor neighborhoods sitting there crying to you, Judge, I don't have the money. My Section 8 paid most of my rent, but I just can't for the last 8 years pay the difference. And this young, handsome guy who bought her building says, listen, she hasn't paid in 10 years. I want her out. What are you going to do, Judge? I mean, aren't you going to feel sorry for this old little lady?
I'm going to follow the law.
That's it.
follow the law.
Isn't the law that you can't
Yeah.
kick out someone that's
Yeah,
over a senior
there's
citizen?
a law of if
Yeah.
you're a senior, there's special ways of dealing with it.
Yeah, and
Again,
of course
I-
I would be. I would always. I'm a very compassionate person, but
that's
I
not
do.
the law. You have to.
But there's a way of the law is not so mean.
Okay. Well, I hope. So I want to ask you. Can I
What
ask
if you have
can-
two people on the lease?
No, come
And one
on.
of them
No,
decides-
forget about it. Don't ask it. I'm not going to ask it. I want to ask you now a question, a hypothetical question. Okay, as a judge, and I know you're going to be a civil court judge, but still, I want to ask you because there was recently a bunch of people arrested, famous actors, for getting their kids into college. Do you hear that story?
No,
Yes,
I did
yes.
not. Can you tell us about it?
Okay, yeah. So there's a bunch of.
That's a federal court.
So it doesn't make a difference federal court. I still want to ask her theoretically. And now a lot of these
And you
kids,
always impress me. You're up to date, up by the second.
I love you because I want to get my kid into Harvard. Anyways, so now
Actually, it's. I have kids in college.
right. So
Yeah.
me too. I had kids in college. I still have kids now. I have my son that you know is in law school, and my other one's architecture. My little one who doesn't want to go to college yet, I'm going to threaten is going to go. So she got her kids into college by what? By paying a broker, just like me, just like anybody else. We're all brokers, and he figured out a way, a trick to get them into college. Why is that wrong? I don't know. Why is that a criminal offense that she
Oh, but
paid her way
they
in?
did it in a criminal way.
In what way? I bribed. I didn't bribe
Well,
anybody.
Felicity, what's her name?
Her name is Lori. This last one, Lori Loughlin, which I like. She was.
I don't know. What
So
they did.
one of them, you're right, made a deal and she got 14
Somebody
days
took
in
the
jail.
SAT, right? Somebody
Right.
corrected the SAT.
No, but it wasn't only
right?
that, right. So that was one of them. That I agree with you. If somebody takes the SAT for
Right.
you, but she went another one. They tricked that. They said, "Oh, she's a sports person," but she's really not a sports person.
They
She's not.
photoshopped a picture of the daughter in a rowboat.
But again,
Lori.
but she got a scholarship. However, they did it. But she
Right.
got into the team. She
But
didn't do
that's
anything
based on
illegal.
fraud.
Based on
And it's
I'm
also
glad.
somebody else who should have got that position
Right.
didn't get it. That's a serious thing.
She do community service.
well, okay.
Right. And for example, my
But my question is that now the first person took a deal. She got 14 days in jail.
Uh-huh.
Actually, 11.
11 days. She got out 3 days early. This Lori Loughlin does not want to take the deal. So now they're adding more charges to scare her. Is that right? And they do that all
Oh,
the
that's a
time.
good question. Exactly.
Go ahead.
Add more charges to scare her. Is that right?
Is that right?
That's the prosecution. That
But
has
that's
nothing to do
wrong.
with
You shouldn't
judges.
automatically now, Judge. You're a judge. Once a decision is made, don't you have to follow the same theory all the way
No.
along the
The
line?
prosecutor has every right to file more charges.
But it's the same charge, it's the same case. You can't just make it worse.
Different counts. Different.
But they all did the same.
Are you talking about double jeopardy? You can't try a person twice, but you could add charges based on the same.
Based on it, but again, the person before you who made a deal didn't get those charges added to them because they made a deal.
Well, they made a deal.
Maybe those charges weren't relevant for that other person.
No, they both have the exact same crime. They're both committed with the same broker.
Why
Okay,
wouldn't it be
I got you.
harassment? I mean, it is
And
not
what I heard, Mr. Hiller-Berman, that there is such a thing that if the federal government charges you with something and you get off the hook with it, the state can charge you with it. So double jeopardy really doesn't work.
They're
in a
doing
sense.
that to Manafort right now.
Right. So is that fair or is that not fair?
Apparently, the courts have ruled it's fair.
They have concurrent jurisdiction.
But again, the Constitution says no.
I'm not a constitutional scholar. She's not, and we're certainly not.
But you have to be a police officer, a judge. You're all employed by the United States government.
But there are different laws. The state and federal
I got
law,
that.
the state and federal laws are different.
This doesn't make sense.
So it's not double jeopardy.
No.
Yeah.
I got that. Well, I had a great time with you guys. I learned a lot. I'm telling everybody out there, Tehila Berman, she better run for judge. I don't care what your exploratory committee says.
She's
Thank
got
you.
the judgment for you.
She's got the judge.
judgment for you.
We make a joke of it. We're going to quickly thank all of our sponsors, Tehila Tishla at ttstyles.com. She's got the
Beauty for you. She takes out. She brings out the beauty.
She brings
in
out the
you.
beauty very good. And her number is 718-675-6842, ttstyles.com. Chamula Jewelers, 944 Kings Highway. Please go to them. They're wonderful. 718-336-1980.
I got this necklace from them.
You got a beautiful necklace.
It has a sparkle for me.
It has this one. Yeah. Don't forget technical difficulties at 1504 68th Street, 718-259-4593. Please go to my barber. He's really a great guy. You're lucky if you can get to use him. 777 Barbershop, 4225 18th Avenue, 718-484-2499. And don't forget, Heshy is always available for you. For, as you know, even the caller last week told you, I pick up the phones at 12 o'clock in the morning, 718-871-0382. It's 5318 16th Avenue. I want to thank all my guests. Tahila Berman, you're always welcome back
Thank
in,
you so
especially
much.
when you
Thank
do
you.
actually decide to run. We want to see you every week. We want to get your message out. We want you elected. I want it, not me. I won't stand before you, but somebody else will. Gary, always please come on to give us some political views. Is Trump going to win the next election? Yes or no?
At this point, he probably will.
Good, and he's not getting impeached. Shmuley, thank you for coming. Rachel, thank you for always coming late, but at least you showed up as always. Thank you to all my listeners. Thank you, Dimitri. Play the music. Have a great time, everybody. See you next Wednesday. Come on back and listen to it and laugh with me. Somebody laugh at my jokes, for God's sake.
The preceding program is a paid advertisement. The opinions and views expressed